Every time the radical left, Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor. Essentially, I'm being indicted for you.
Jimmy Kimmel roasted Trump for his crazy black people statement, and people are laughing at the former president.
The media tells you, Mr. Trump, we support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please
Can I have 30 milkshakes and also some chicken? And we're going to take care of the customers. Is business good? You're making a lot of money? Everyone, you're getting rich, right? Thanks a lot. Thanks very much. Look at the way you hold. You like each other, right? I think that's very nice. Have a good time. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. So we'll order 30 milkshakes. We'll give them out to the people, and we'll take some for ourselves, okay? Good. Thank you very much, everybody. Hello.
This has got a great American franchise, Chick-fil-A.
It is. It's a great franchise. The owner is a great man who's a member of one of my clubs, and he's fantastic. And yeah, they do very well. They're closed on Sunday.
Jimmy Kimmel saw something strange with ex-President Donald Trump when he showed up at a Georgia Chick-fil-A. During his late-night show, he played a clip of Trump hanging out with black supporters in the restaurant, even giving one of them a hug, then announcing that he...
The black colleges, universities, they're taken care of now, and she understands it. A lot of people don't understand it. Biden did nothing for them, and I did everything. I did everything.
Kimmel couldn't help but laugh and said this.
Just a former president muttering, I did everything to himself at a fast food chicken restaurant. Nothing unusual there.
Kimmel also pointed out that Trump was wrong when he said that the Biden administration didn't support historically black colleges and universities. They actually provided $7 billion in funding. Then he showed an even crazier clip from the same Chick-fil-A visit where Trump claimed he's done more for black Americans than anyone else.
I've done more for the black community than any other president since Abraham Lincoln, and maybe including Abraham Lincoln, frankly, but since Abraham Lincoln.
Kimmel couldn't help but hysterically laugh at this statement.
I don't know, who is this person? The fact that he's able to say the words, I've done more for the black community than maybe Abraham Lincoln, and then not start laughing hysterically, it's incredible. He might as well be saying, I am a black person. It would be equally preposterous.
We can all agree with Kimmel there. This is not the only time the former president did something like this.
And in just a few weeks, former president and current GOP frontrunner Donald Trump will be back in South Carolina. Trump will be the keynote speaker at the Black Conservative Federation's Gala. That event will take place on February 23rd, right here in Columbia. Trump's visit comes one day before the state's Republican primary.
When a politician delivers marathon rally speeches that last nearly 2 hours, it's tough to sort through all the inaccurate statements. This is especially true for Donald Trump, who has a habit of making numerous false or misleading claims.
Tonight, former President Donald Trump in Columbia at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. The 45th president was the keynote speaker at the Black Conservative Federation's Honors Gala. News 19's Nate Stanley was there this evening. He has more on the event.
We have a big deal tomorrow, and it's so important that everybody get out and vote because we want to win by big margins because the big day is November 5th.
It was the message from former President Donald Trump Friday night as he took the stand at the Black Conservative Federation's Honors Gala. Friday's speech happened just hours before polls opened in the South Carolina Republican primary.
We're going to make America great again for everybody, but we're going to make America great again also, and I'm not sure I can say necessarily again in this case, for African Americans. We're going to make America great for all of our country.
Trump suggested that his 91 criminal charges across various cases are actually boosting his popularity among black voters. According to Trump, these charges are just another example of politically motivated attacks against him.
Indicted a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time. And a lot of people said, that's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against. And they actually viewed me as I'm being discriminated against.
Despite his well-documented history of racism, including promoting a conspiracy theory against the country's first black president and attempting to invalidate millions of voters in predominantly black areas during the 2020 election, Trump proceeded to commend the work of civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr.
Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a truly great badge of honor because I'm being indicted for you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Democrats criticized Trump for his remarks, accusing him of promoting racist stereotypes that belittle black voters. It might surprise Trump, but relying on tired cliches, knockoff sneakers, and shirts with his mugshot isn't going to win over black voters who faced high unemployment and lack of health care coverage during his presidency. Trump's attempts to court black voters reveal his true feelings about them, and his tactics are as cheesy and racist as he is. Trump held a lively rally in nearby Rock Hill, attended mostly by white supporters. During that event, he made similar comments, boasting about his numerous criminal indictments and comparing himself to Alphonse Capone, the infamous gangster from Chicago.
I've been talking about for 12 years, 13 years, and I think it's going to be a big success. That's the real deal. That's the real deal.
Trump and his supporters believe he can attract more black voters with his economic and immigration policies, but Biden's team disagrees. According to Trump and his crew, he's got a chance to win over more black voters because of his stance on the economy and immigration. However, Biden's campaign isn't convinced. Some of Trump's attempts to connect with African Americans have raised eyebrows.
Just moments ago in South Carolina, Donald Trump accused the sitting president of the United States of hating black people.
It's the only thing he's really been good at his entire career. You know what that is? Being a racist, because he's a racist. Biden spent years palling around with notorious segregationists.
Here's another clip of Trump from the black conservative event.
Pastor Mark Burns. Mark, where are you? Where's Mark Burns? He's a great guy. Good. These lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there. But I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones, you see? That's how far I've come. That's how far I've come. That's a long way, isn't it? We've all seen the mugshot. And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts and they sell them for $19 a piece. It's pretty amazing.
Yep, you heard that right. Crazy how Trump's mind works. Trump's remarks throughout the night, which were met with enthusiastic applause and laughter, faced strong criticism from Democrats and black community leaders. Black media also mocked and ridiculed the event during its broadcast.
Racist Joe Biden, I've spent my entire life working hand in hand with black Americans to create jobs, build buildings, invest in our communities. I want to tell you, a black worker is a great worker.
All right, well, let's put aside treating black people like a monolith, which he did over and over again. Donald Trump's career has been marked by a detailed history of racism. He was sued in the 1970s for housing discrimination based on race. He settled that suit, and Trump also gave a pretty stunning reason for why he says black voters like him now.
I got indicted for nothing, for something that is nothing. And a lot of people said that that's why the black people like me, because they have been hurt so badly and discriminated against.
The contrasting reactions to Trump's comments underscored the challenges faced by black GOP activists and the difficulty Republicans have in gaining support from black voters. Traditionally held in Washington, D.C., this year's gala took place in Columbia, South Carolina on the eve of the GOP Republican primary, where Trump easily defeated the state's former governor, Nikki Haley. This change in location held significant meaning.
Donald Trump claiming that black Americans will support him because of his criminal charges is insulting. It's moronic, and it's just plain racist.
As Republicans show a growing interest in reaching out to communities of color, the dinner provided an opportunity to showcase the GOP's appeal to black voters. The event featured numerous speeches and prayers from prominent black Republicans, along with musical performances by a jazz band covering songs by John Legend.
Trump was in Philadelphia at SneakerCon. Why? He was unveiling his own sneaker line, Trump sneakers, including this gold-colored, it's called the Never Surrender high top sneaker. And on that website, which is selling those sneakers, apparently it's sold out. It was selling for $399. Your thoughts?
Well, look, at one level, he wants to monetize whatever he can, and he wants to make money out of what's going on, even if it's costing him money in the courts. It's also, though, part of the kind of MAGA swag that has been essential to his campaign and to creating kind of movement or fandom that makes his campaign different from many others. Buy the sneaker, buy the hat, and it creates a form of attachment to him that other candidates actually can't replicate very easily.
Do you think he's going to rely a lot on his supporters to help raise money for him to pay some of these penalties and legal fees that are ahead as well?
He'll try to get the money however he can. We're talking about significant amounts, and simply politically.
Despite criticism from Democrats, throughout his 90-minute speech at the gala, the audience frequently applauded and celebrated the former president's remarks. Black Republican leaders also received applause when they criticized Democratic policies on diversity, economics, immigration, and education.
I love those pink signs. Women for Trump. I love the signs behind me. Blacks for Trump. I like those signs. Blacks for Trump. You watch. You watch. Those signs are great. Thank you.
As Trump leads the Republican nomination race for the 2024 election, he's announced his plan to appeal to black voters, especially amidst growing dissatisfaction with Joe Biden. On February 17th, he launched the limited edition Never Surrender high tops, priced at $399. Republican commentators suggested that these flashy sneakers were chipping away at Democratic support among black voters.
Why have at least so many of his supporters become so resistant to Trump's scandals?
Some of it's just broader, that scandals have diminished in terms of their impact in a country that's more polarized, where trust of government is very low. Scandals are something people watch, but they don't necessarily have much of a political impact. We've become numb in some ways to one scandal after the other. And with Trump himself, he has found ways to turn the scandal into something of political value, to actually define himself around constantly being attacked. So those things are all converging with, again, support for him, where the supporters are very loyal, and regardless of what happens to him or what he is found to have done, their support for him only gets stronger.
Weeks after Trump's mugshot remarks, a BBC investigation found that Trump supporters were circulating artificial intelligence-generated photos of Trump with black people. The images have not been tied to the Trump campaign.
In the mugshot, and you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts and they sell them for $19 a piece.
In response to his comments at the gala, the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, called Trump divisive and repugnant during a press briefing last week, The Hill reported.
Former President Trump continues to dominate these early contests in the race for the GOP nomination. And in Michigan, we saw President Biden face one of his biggest challenges on the campaign trail so far.
If we win Michigan, we win the whole ball game.
Former President Donald Trump picking up another primary victory, easily winning Michigan over his former UN ambassador Nikki Haley, and looking ahead to the general election while calling into a Michigan watch party.
I can tell you this, November 5th cannot come fast enough.
Haley has her sights set on Super Tuesday, when more than a dozen states and one territory weighs in.
Let's just keep going and running through the tape as much as we can.
Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, Trump's main rival for the GOP nomination, expressed her disdain for the former president's comments, calling them disgusting. That's just the chaos we get with Donald Trump. That's the kind of offensive talk we can expect every day until the general election. That's why I keep saying Donald Trump can't win a general election. He just won't," she remarked after casting her vote in the South Carolina primary.
Well, he can. Does he have a stronghold in Iowa? Of course he does. Do people support Trump? They do, but it's not about whether you support President Trump. I think President Trump was the right president at the right time. I agree with a lot of his policies. But chaos follows him. Rightly or wrongly, chaos follows him. And now is a time where we have a country in disarray and a world on fire. We can't afford 4 more years of chaos and survive it. We just won't. And I think the people in Iowa and New Hampshire and South Carolina are going to see that. It's a different question to say, do you support President Trump and appreciate what he did, as opposed to what direction do you want the country to go? That's very...
Haley's campaign manager told CNN that Trump's remark about his indictment demonstrates why Americans don't want a rematch between Trump and Biden in November. Despite Haley's pledge to stay in the race beyond the South Carolina primary and through Super Tuesday on March 5th, Trump has secured victory in every delegate contest so far and holds a substantial lead over Haley in pre-primary voting in her home state.
The recent New York Times Siena poll shows 23% support among black voters for former President Trump. That's up 19 points since a similar poll just before the 2020 election.
In a January AP NORC poll, only 42% of black adults approved of Biden's job as president. However, Biden's overall favorability among black adults was higher than Trump's in a December AP NORC poll, where 56% had a favorable view of Biden compared to only 25% for Trump. Vivian Childs, a GOP activist and business owner from Warner Robins, Georgia, expressed no qualms about Trump's sometimes awkward attempts to appeal to black voters. She even chuckled when asked about the former president promoting his custom metallic golden red shoes at SneakerCon, which some supporters pointed out as an appeal to black voters.
I'm running against. There is nobody else I need to debate. I have had 5 strong debates and have done plenty of them. He can't hide forever.
This follows former President Trump's landslide win in the Iowa caucuses this week. New Hampshire's primary is next Tuesday, the 23rd.
Nikki Haley, Trump's last remaining primary rival, described the gala speech as disgusting, while Cedric Richmond, co-chair of President Biden's re-election campaign, labeled the comments as insulting, moronic, and plainly racist.
Donald Trump was implying that he can win black voters because they get indicted all the time, too. Is that what he was saying?
Well, I think it's in part of that. That's part of it, Kristen. Look.
Civil rights activist Reverend Al Sharpton criticized Trump's remarks, calling them a direct insult to black people. He also condemned the attendees of the event, stating, "If any black Republicans had any self-respect, they would condemn this portrayal of black people by Donald Trump."
I'm proud to be partnering with my very good friend Lee Greenwood, who doesn't love his song God Bless the USA, in connection with promoting the God Bless the USA Bible. This Bible is the King James Version and also includes our founding father documents, yes, the Constitution, which I'm fighting for every single day, very hard, to keep Americans protected. Also, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance are all part of this God Bless the USA Bible, and it's just very important and very important to me. I want to have a lot of people have it. You have to have it for your heart, for your soul. Many of you have never read them and don't know the liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being threatened to lose those rights. It's happening all the time. It's a very sad thing that's going on in our country, but we're going to get it turned around. Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country, and I truly believe that we need to bring them back, and we have to bring them back fast. I think it's one of the biggest problems we have. That's why our country is going haywire. We've lost religion in our country. All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book. This Bible is a reminder that the biggest thing we have to bring back America and to make America great again is our religion. Religion is so important. It's so missing, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong, just like our country is going to come back strong.
When Trump won the New Hampshire primary, Senator Tim Scott, the lone black Republican in the state, stood by his side. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay updated about Trump's legal battles. See you in the next one.